It is the Jennie and Larry show again for day 2, and boy, do we have some fun things to talk about today, Jennie. What was your favorite thing today?
Oh, it was hard to pick. Actually, it wasn't hard to pick. I really had fun being high up in the stands and watching the javelin throw. One of the things about Hayward Field is, with the exception of the hammer, all of the field events are in the infield. You can watch the javelin throw, the discus throw, the shot put, the high jump, and the pole vault. And it really is even more than a 3-ring circus. There were several things to watch. You could watch 2 people running up to jump the pole vault at the same time. It was crazy.
They really do a nice job. That's why one of our writers, Dave Hunter, calls Hayward Field the cathedral of track and field, and he's really right about it. But, you know, it was just an amazing day, and there was pathos as well as just brilliance.
Talk about Bryan Clay, and then I want to have a word or two to say about watching the most graceful athlete I've ever seen.
Sure. Bryan Clay was a 2004 bronze medalist in the decathlon, 2008 gold medalist, and his dream was to make a 3rd team and be the first decathlete to ever win 3 medals. He had a great first day. He gets into the hurdles, and understand it's wet, it's raining. He starts hitting hurdles early on. He hit hurdles 8, 9 he stumbled, and 10 he looked like he kind of pushed with his hand. I don't think he could have done anything else. The officials first disqualified him, which just tore him up. The couple pictures we have are heartbreaking. He goes into the discus. He's a great discus thrower. He fouls twice. In the 3rd one, he has this great long throw out of the sector, a 3rd foul. That party is over. After the discus, there had been a protest. He was reinstated on one part of the hurdles, which was, let's see.
Hitting that last one?
Hitting the last one, but there's also, because he didn't go over the last hurdle. Finally, at 5:48 tonight, the jury of appeals reinstated his hurdle race and gave him the points. So you'll see points added to Bryan Clay's decathlon finish. And he actually finished. I mean, he threw the javelin, he threw the disc, he finished the 1500. He showed a lot of class. He's a classy athlete. But the decathletes are like that.
So the next question was, who's 3rd? But I don't think that was the story. In fact, let me backtrack a little bit. Sure. I really had a lot of fun watching the pole vault, because this one athlete, he's a young guy, Ashton Eaton, wearing the Oregon Track Club green, kept going higher and higher, and every time he just cleared it with feet to spare. It was amazing to watch him. He was so graceful. And then it would come down to the last event of the day, of the decathlon, the 1500-meter race. Tell us what happened.
He had a run under 4:16 to break the world record of Roman Sebrele. I didn't think he could do it. I thought he'd run in about 4:24, but he went out in 66. He stayed on pace, and with 300 to go, he tore it up. On his home track with 20,000 fans screaming, he ran 4:14.47, which added to his other 9 events was a new world record of 9,039 points. It's the 4th time a world record for the decathlon's been set in Eugene. What was cool to me, besides Ashton's graciousness, was that he got to be...
Besides Bryan's graciousness?
Well, Bryan's too, and Adam just being just an elegant athlete. Ashton was embraced by Bruce Jenner, who had set 2 of the records here. Rafer Johnson, who set the first world record for the decathlon here. Milt Campbell, the 1956 gold medalist and 52 bronze medals. Bill Toomey, the 1968. Bruce Jenner, the 1976, and Bryan Clay, a 2004 and 2008 medalist.
And Dan O'Brien somewhere.
And Dan O'Brien, 1996, and he broke Dan O'Brien's American record. And Dan showed a true amount of class, congratulating him, making a big point about how cool it was for Ashton to do it. In fact, he told us later, I knew this guy was going to be doing it for a while. So, you know, Ashton is an up-and-comer. He's my prohibitive favorite for gold in London. But I also think Trey Hardee is going to probably end up with a silver. I think we've got a tremendous team in the decathlon.
Well, in fact, Trey Hardee is the current reigning world champion, so he's no slouch either.
Trey had a surgery on his elbow after the javelin in the Worlds last year, where we were watching it pop. It was one of the more horrific things that I've seen in a competition, when you throw it and you know there's something wrong. But you know what? He'd gotten the gold medal. All he had to do was run a 1500 after that. He did great here. He's on the team. He's got 34 days to get ready for the Olympics, so let's see what he does.
Well, it was just absolutely chilling to watch Ashton Eaton come down the stretch, and everybody knew at that point that he had it. The roar was so loud you couldn't think. But not only that, he passed the two guys who had been leading the whole entire 1500, and he won the race too.
Yeah, it was Curtis Beach and Joe Detmer. Yeah. Curtis is going under 4 minutes in the 1500. In fact, he's the world record holder for the decathlon 1500. And Detmer is a Wisconsin Badger kid, just a great young man. He's run about 4:03 for the 1500. Both tough athletes in their own right. Beach is an up-and-comer. We'll see him around for probably the next 8 to 12 years. But Eaton, it was Eaton's moment. It was great to see the smile on Harry Mara's face. His coach, Fred Samara, one of Harry's big buddies from Princeton, also a big decathlon guy. They were all happy about it. It was really nice to see the team. And I was particularly taken by watching Vin Lanana and Ashton give each other a big hug. Vin is really the kind of the maison grise of the Olympic trials here. This is the second one he's put on. No mean feat. There's a lot of logistics here, and he's got a lot of great people. But a great manager gets the people to do the jobs that he's not going to do and lets them do it better. And that's what Vin does. And that's why the 2012 trials may be the best Olympic trials we've ever seen.
We had two other finals today, wow. And there were surprises. Both of them were women. The first was 100-meter hurdles.
The 100-meter hurdles may be the toughest event for a U.S. athlete to make. There are 8 women that are ranked in the top 20, actually 8 in the top 15. Lolo Jones, who everybody remembers from NBC in 2008, who was leading with 8 hurdles and hit hurdle 9 and 10 and did not win a medal. Dawn Harper, who was the gold medalist, was there, and Kellie Wells, the fastest in the U.S., was there as well. The race took off, and Dawn got out like a bat out of wherever, and she is a consummate hurdler. Boom, boom, boom. She gets over those hurdles, keeps her butt low, and she won. Then you had Kellie Wells, and Kellie Wells is very fast. She had broken her arm earlier in the year, but she's very fit. She stayed on top of it, and again, great over the hurdles, great controlling her speed. She was second. Lolo Jones probably ran one of the smartest races of her life. She started out okay, but she came through, and she actually took it over the last 2 hurdles. And she sprinted like heck, and she got third. She made the Olympic team, which is the key. Lolo is probably one of the most popular athletes on Twitter and social media. I spent a couple hours taking a bus there from Hengelo to Amsterdam about 3 weeks ago. Very bright young woman, very talented athlete. But it depends on what Lolo you see on that day. Well, the Lolo with her A-grade champion ran today. That's why she made the team.
Well, it's a very powerful team, and we also have a killer team in the women's 100 meters. And somebody said there actually was a tie for third. What do they do? Have a runoff?
That's interesting. You know, Carmelita Jeter is arguably the best 100-meter runner for women in the world.
She really takes it out kind of like Usain Bolt does.
She does, but she also has this new thing now. She actually listens to her coach, John Smith, who is the world record holder for the 440 and is a technician and a student of the sport. And last spring, Carmelita kind of smiled and giggled to me. She says, you know, when I listen to Coach, I do really well. I think I'm going to listen to Coach for a while. And she sure did today. She went out, and she was challenged by Tianna Madison, the 2005 long jump world champion. Carmelita won in 10:92. Tianna 10:96. But the real drama was in third place. Jeneba, Tarmoh, and Allyson Felix. Allyson's the poster girl for Nike, and she has been a professional athlete since she was 18 years old. They both ran 11:07, actually 11:06.9, 11:06.91. Well, at first, Jeneba was given third, but it looks like there's going to be a tie for third. Now,
who's on the team then?
That's a good question. I think what will end up happening is they'll decide. There may be a race-off. I just don't honestly know. I can't see the IOC letting them take 4 sprinters. It's just not going to happen, even with the tie. But I will tell you one other thing. We are going to have a women's 4x1 that could just blast it. And the most vicious competition in the planet is between the Jamaican sprinters, the women, and the U.S. women's sprinters. They are both tough, they're professional, but they know how to race, and there's going to be some fun racing there.
Well, we had some fun racing, not to mention the world record. So that's it for day 2, and we have, what, 8 more days to go?
8 more days to go. Gary Morgan, we miss you. We love you. Would you please recover soon so we can have the Jennie and Larry and Gary show again? We love it. All right, signing off for this evening. Take care.